Now at 6, Turnaround Ranch in Joplin unveils the latest addition to its campus. Plus,
we're talking about how to keep you and your family safe come this 4th of July. I'm Anthony Saviello with the story.
And a Kansas representative shares photos of her experience after receiving a suspicious letter in the mail.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh is celebrating 620 Day, as in the area code and the date. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The purpose of the event is to cultivate pride and celebrate the Pittsburgh community. More than 15 businesses in Pittsburgh this afternoon joined the celebration. Pittsburgh stores offered deals to various residents, visitors, from 20% off to buy one, get one half off. Business owners said this is a good way to give back to the community and bring people in the doors.
I just like to do anything that I can reach out to our community and help out in any way. You know, it's important being part of the downtown.
Seems like the downtown is growing and growing and growing, and the city and the community support is, you can't even put any words to it.
The 620 Day celebration continues with a block party until 8 in the area of 2nd and Broadway. It includes food, music, vendors, a car show, and more along the street and inside the Pritchett Pavilion. Fireworks sales began today in Missouri. They're going to start soon in Kansas ahead of the 4th of July. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has some tips about how to make sure you're staying safe when you set off the fireworks this year.
America's birthday is coming up, which also means fireworks season. While these displays may bring joy and amusement, they can also bring harm.
Well, first off, they need to make sure that they're shooting their fireworks in a safe area, make sure they're a safe distance away from a home, vehicles, structures, things of that nature.
So, how do you keep fireworks from, well, starting a fire?
I would make sure that if they're going to be shooting in a grass area, to wet it down with water prior to shooting the fireworks, and then put something down that's a hard surface to shoot the fireworks on in that area as well, and then also wet that down.
And what recommendations do the retailers have?
It's really important to wear safety glasses, goggles, make sure that we're putting out the cake after we're done with water. Even sparklers, I think that they can be dangerous if they're still lit. If your child has it, dunk it in a bucket of water just to keep that in mind.
So, now that we have our information, it's time to put it to the test. So we're back at the KOAM news station. We have our bucket here of water filled up and ready to use in case of emergency. Right here, I have some cinder blocks where we will place a firework cake in between so that way it can stay secure. We'll also use our water to wet down our area so that way, in case of emergency, we can be prepared. So we've made sure that the area that we're detonating our fireworks is completely wet. And right now I also have a punk because it's safer to use these than an actual handheld lighter. And by the recommendation of the fireworks store, I got myself some safety glasses here. So we're gonna set this down, we're gonna slide off this, and we're gonna get to a safe distance and watch these things go. So now that we've detonated our fireworks, we're gonna let it sit and cool. Then we're gonna properly dispose of it into our bucket of water, and we're gonna light off some more. So this 4th of July, make sure to stay safe and stay responsible. Reporting outside KOAM news station, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
You can find more safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, or by downloading the KOAM News app. You can also read the fireworks ordinances for Joplin and for Pittsburgh. Turnaround Ranch in Joplin today unveiled its newest addition, the Hope Cottage. It took 13 months to build. Officials say it's one of the most sleek and modern residential treatment facilities for children in Missouri. Hope Cottage resembles a single-family home and is meant to provide a safe and comfortable place to live for kids ages 13 to 18. Each resident has their own bedroom along with individual use bathrooms.
With the open floor plan, it helps to be able to station staff in strategic areas to be able to make sure that we're keeping an eye on specific areas that may be of concern. The rooms themselves have the ability to be locked from the outside, but then free to be open from the inside. And so it helps to keep the kids that in their rooms versus going into other people's rooms.
2 additional cottages are planned, one this year and another next year. Another hot one out there, meteorologist Sam Lane.
All right, yes, it was another scorcher out there with temperatures in the 90s in many locations, mostly fair skies. Radar's all clear, although there is one lone thunderstorm way over there to the east in western Tennessee. We don't even really have that many clouds in the area either. We have some high clouds out towards the west, and it looks like the dry weather is going to continue at least through the evening as temperatures drop down through the 80s into the mid 60s by tomorrow morning. But looking down the road, looking down the lane, we're going to have some sunny and hot weather, and of course that means the drought's going to continue. Weekend storm chances are there, as well as some summer-like heat, and we'll talk all about that in our forecast coming up in just a little bit. Dow?
See you soon. So folks are still cleaning up after the high winds over the weekend in Joplin. The city's public works opened their free tree limb drop-off site this week. It's going to be open from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. through Friday. It's at 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation says the FBI is now taking over the investigation of suspicious letters found in Kansas with white powder in them. Republican State Representative Tori Marie Blue of Barton County shared these photos. The photos show the letter she received. Also photos of crews in protective gear responding. She says the response also included a specialized hazmat team. The letters were sent to several Kansas state lawmakers and other public officials. The FBI is now taking over the case because the investigation has expanded beyond the state of Kansas. Investigators say preliminary testing shows the powder is not any common biological agents of concern. Coming up, a Missouri judge breaks a standoff between 2 state officials in an abortion rights case. Plus, a St. Louis family grieves the loss of their youngest child after a deadly weekend shooting. A constitutional amendment proposal to restore abortion rights in Missouri will move forward. A judge today broke a standoff between 2 Republican officials that had halted the process. The judge ordered Attorney General Andrew Bailey to follow fellow Republican Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick's estimated $51,000 price tag on the proposal within 24 hours. Bailey argued it would cost the state as much as $1 million times more because of lost Medicaid funding or revenue that would not be collected from people who otherwise would be born. If approved by voters, the proposal would enshrine in the state constitution the individual right to make decisions about abortion, childbirth, and birth control. In St. Louis, the family of a teen killed during a mass shooting at a party early Sunday is speaking out. Right now, it's still unclear what led to that shooting. Robert Townsend reports.
It was the worst Father's Day of Daryl Moore's life.
I feel numb, man. I don't know what to feel.
Early Sunday morning, he got a heart-gripping phone call.
My daughter called me about 2:15 and said, "Daddy, wake up. We need to go check on KO."
The worried dad rushed to 14th and Washington Avenue in downtown St. Louis and learned his 17-year-old son, Makeo Moore, had been shot and killed while at a party.
I'm shocked. Just crazy. One minute I'm talking to him, next minute he gone. You know, just senseless gun violence.
Police say this senseless gun violence broke out around 1 a.m. Sunday on the 5th floor of an office building. Startling surveillance images show dozens of terrified teenagers ran for their lives when the gunfire popped off. Makeo died at the scene. He was the youngest of 13 and a junior at Sumner High School.
It's hard, man, especially losing your last born. You know, I thought he was going to outlive us all.
He was caring, he was loving, like he was everything. He was a good uncle and a great brother.
11 others, ranging from 15 to 19, were injured. Survivors told police conflicting stories. Some said a group of men in all black just started shooting. Others claimed 2 groups were apparently arguing before shooting at each other.
I just want justice for my son.
A grief-stricken dad who must now bury his son.
It's just senseless, man. And, you know, like, I agree with the mayor saying we need to find something to save these kids.
Police say they're searching for 4 suspects in connection with the shooting who they say were captured on surveillance video. A juvenile suspect is currently in custody. Still no update on the conditions of the other 11 victims. A little later, the Webb City football team embraces their hog pride. We're going to tell you how they're passing it on to the next generation.
And we're tracking lots of hot weather in our forecast. Of course, I'll be back in a minute to tell you all about that, as well as the first day of summer when we return. Well, it was another hot one across the area as summer starts tomorrow, but I think it's actually kind of gotten an early start with all the warm air that we've had lately, including Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Lots of sunshine, just a few clouds out there, but can hardly see them out there. Mostly sunny skies across the entire area. This afternoon, we made it up to 90 degrees once again, which was about 3 degrees above the normals of 87. We were basically on target for the lows. But check out the rainfall. We're still about 6 2/3 behind for the year. And that's not counting the fact that we were in a drought late in the last part of last year. And summer officially starts tomorrow. And that means the Earth's hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, is tilting towards the sun. And it's the highest point in the sky for the year. But shorter days are coming, and that'll be welcome. And it's going to be officially summer at 9:57 tomorrow morning. And we'll have about 14 3/4 hours of daylight as we head towards tomorrow. We do have the summer effects already as we have a heat advisory for Delaware County, and that goes until 9 o'clock. And that's because of the heat and the humidity and also the power outages down in that area still ongoing. Temperatures right now are in the 80s for the most part on the Missouri side, but in Kansas it's already in the lower 90s and have been that way all afternoon long. It's 92 in Grove, same thing in Veneta for some of the warmest spots, 86 degrees over there in Monette. When you factor in the dew points, it feels like 96 in Veneta, 97 in Grove. Would be a great time to get in Grand Lake and cool off a little bit. Rain chances are going to be low over the next 36 hours, maybe ticking up a little bit as we go into the early morning hours, but that's mainly going to be towards the west as temperatures tonight are going to drop into the 60s with southeast winds. Notice the rain will be way off towards the west and northwest, staying in that general area as we go through Wednesday afternoon with temperatures rising once again into the low 90s. And then on Thursday morning, we're going to see temperatures generally in the 60s with some drier air trying to come in from the north and east. So that'll make it feel a little bit more comfortable out there. Then on Thursday, maybe an isolated storm, but not really a whole lot to see as temperatures are going to be right around 90 degrees once again. And then as we go into Friday morning, we'll see partly cloudy skies with lows in the 60s across the area. And it's all because of this ridge of high pressure that has parked itself over the central United States. Now there is going to be a low that's going to try to sneak in from the back door, but it's going to be mainly moving off towards the north and east as the ridge is going to start building back in as we go towards the weekend. But as it does so, we'll go into a northwest flow pattern. And generally what that means is we have increasing chances of showers and storms late at night and in the early morning hours. And hopefully that will verify and help put a dent in some of the drought. But right now, the computer models are saying rainfall amounts will generally be around a tenth of an inch or less. So that's not really going to help out too much, but at this point, we'll take what we can get. Over the next 7 days, it's going to be hot. Temperatures around 90 degrees, and then a slight chance of storms Friday night, and a better chance of storms, I think, Saturday night into Sunday morning. And it stays hot right on into the early part of next week with increasing chances again on Wednesday and Thursday. But check out Friday, 96. That's the actual temperature, not the heat index.
Week from this coming Friday, 96 degrees. Wow.
Yes.
Thanks, Sam. John Dales joins us now. Things might be slowly turning around for our local baseball team.
Yeah, it's been a struggle recently, but the Outlaws ahead in game 1 of their doubleheader, and the Cardinals have a winning streak. And Webb City hosts a different kind of youth football camp with a special guest in attendance. Those stories and more right after the break. Lots of high school football programs preach that it starts with the guys up front, but few take that to the level of Webb City. They have a term for it there, Hog Pride. And that slogan is on shirts that are solely distributed to Webb City offensive and defensive linemen. The O-line and D-line coaches are also the only members of the coaching staff that get to wear them. And today, Webb City begins molding that next generation of Cardinal linemen with their offensive and defensive line camp for 3rd through 8th graders. Over 150 campers are in attendance for day one, learning fundamentals from Cardinal coaches, players, and most notably, New York Jets center and Webb City alum, Tristan Colon.
Seems like everyone gravitates to the quarterbacks and the running backs and linebackers, but we want to focus on our O-line, D-line guys, let them know how important they are to us. And probably the big thing, this is our first camp of the year, so this is a priority for us. We want them to know that they're first, without them, we're not going to be successful in the future, and so this is a high priority for us. So this is the first camp that kind of kicks off our youth camps for the summer.
Coming back to the area, giving back to the guys. I remember coming to this camp when I was a little kid, seeing all the older guys working it, and having guys, having Spear come back. I remember when I was super young, Grant Wistrom came back, did a camp. Me and my brother went to it, and just kind of, trying to help the next generation. I'm from here. I'd love to see Webb City continue with their success.
In local baseball, winning was seemingly outlawed in Joplin. Much like the Royals and Cardinals, the Outlaws hit a rough patch in their season, dropping 4 consecutive games. Today, they got 2 chances to make that better, though. Doubleheader against the Des Moines Peak Prospects this afternoon and evening, and Game 1 is a victory for Joplin. The Outlaws take it 6-3 over Des Moines on the road. Colton Reynolds from Crowder College leading the way at the plate. He gets 2 hits and 2 runs in 3 plate appearances. This snaps the losing streak. We'll have the score for the second game of the doubleheader tonight at 10. Over to pro baseball. Since we've last talked, the Royals have ended their losing streak. That's the good news. The bad news is Saturday's win over the Angels is Kansas City's only victory in the past 13 games. This evening, KC plays at Detroit. A win would be the Royals' first on the road in the month of June. Things just getting started at Comerica Park. 3rd inning, no score. First pitch was at 5:40. Strong outing from Salvador Perez could go a long way in this one. He's got 2 home runs, a double, and 3 RBIs over the last 10 games. We'll have highlights from that one at 10 as well. Lastly, the Cardinals in action tonight as well. St. Louis has actually turned a little bit of a corner recently after a 7-game losing streak, 6 of which were at home. The Cardinals have won 4 games in a row, all of them on the road, and they have a chance for another series win in our nation's capital tonight. I think that's the great thing about baseball. You have 162 games, you go on runs throughout the year. It seems like the season was lost, but then you put a couple of wins together.
That's right. Put together a long losing streak, it can follow up with a long winning streak, particularly in the Cardinals case. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Carthage Water and Electric Plant Board responds to the city's attempt to dissolve the board. Plus, we're going to have more on how Pittsburgh businesses took part in today's 602 Day celebrations, and the 620 Day celebrations, I should say. And the Langston Hughes Historical Society presents a presentation about the now demolished Joplin home where the famed poet was born. Those stories and a lot more is coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The heat wave continues.
The heat wave continues, and we have some storm chances, but we're going to have to wait till Saturday night into Sunday morning, I think, and then it stays hot all through the entire forecast. In fact, gets hotter as we head towards the latter part of the month, but of course that's typical here in the 4 states this time of year.
Final sports note.
Outlaws just wrapped up Game 1 of that doubleheader. Game 2 starting as we speak, so we'll have that score later on tonight.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.